What's up, guys? I'm at the Whitney Museum of Art, one of my favorite museums, very modern place. So excited to be here right now because of the Edward Hopper New York exhibit. They loaned, the museum was loaned a whole bunch of Hopper paintings from all around the country. And they're all here right now. Let's go take a look. This painting here, guys, is called the New York Movie Theater, featuring a lonely usher standing alone while a movie plays. One of his most famous paintings. Nice to see the original here live in front of me. And you know, a lot of his paintings feature isolated human subjects. What's cool about this museum is that they show his preliminary sketches as he prepared to paint his final product. One thing to note, guys, before we go along with this tour is that the Ed Hopper was a master at creating artificial light. Look at the light on the curtains and on the wall. Oh my goodness, this entire friggin' floor is all Edward Hopper. We have a painting called Intermission. He painted this in 1963. Again, an isolated human subject seemingly lost in his or her own thoughts. Looks like this person decided to stay in their seat during the intermission of a film or play. We have sunlight in a cafeteria. Not only was he great at creating artificial light, but also sunlight and natural light, as depicted here. Again, lonely subjects. A lot of these paintings, the settings are absolutely in New York City, including this one, New York office. Lots of shades and tonal range, sunlight, shadow. Here we have Washington Square. Hopper often painted on the rooftop of his building. This was probably one of his views. And I've included the summaries for some of these paintings, so pause the video at any time to give them a read. Here are some letters displayed that he wrote to publishers. And I recommend pausing this right here to read how Hopper's paintings transcend reality into fantasy. We have a wall of watercolor paintings. He only painted a couple of watercolor paintings in his life. And here they are. Here is a self-portrait of Edward Hopper. I don't think he painted many portraits. Here's a good summary, a good snippet about Washington Square, where he lived most of his life. And here we have a painting called A Room in New York. Very often, if there are multiple people in his paintings, they're usually not talking to each other. Here's one of my favorite paintings coming up. Pause that if you want to read about it. Early Sunday Morning. Look at this painting, guys. Again, probably Greenwich Village. This was one of the paintings that was already at the Whitney. They've had this painting there for quite a while. Look at that light. You just know it's morning. Here's one of my favorites called Night Windows. The shadows in his painting cause you to focus on the lit areas. And this was supposedly a viewpoint from an elevated subway track, which was dismantled shortly after 1930. From Williamsburg Bridge, 1928. Again, a beautiful urban landscape, set of row houses, possibly Greenwich Village buildings here, and we get a lone subject, another example of a lone subject. Guys, this might be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. See all these Hopper paintings in one area. We have a painting called A Room in Brooklyn, painted in 1932. One of my favorites. Look at the light on the floor, on the windowsills, the tones on the chair. Again, an isolated subject who appears to be lost in her thoughts. Beautiful, just amazing. There's lots of windows in Edward Hopper's paintings. And I recommend reading this little summary here about windows, how they are one of his most enduring symbols. Here's something I didn't know about Ed Hopper. He thrived as a commercial artist. I did not know that. Magazine sketches, illustrations. Here's one of my favorites, Girl at the Sewing Machine, 1921. Hopper was great at conveying the world beyond a private interior, as conveyed here. By the way, guys, if you guys get thirsty or want a drink, you can visit the bar on the 8th floor. Right next to the beautiful outdoor patio, well, not really a patio, but observation deck. Look at the views. This is one of the reasons why I love this museum, guys. Check out this view. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
No, not even that. This is not a head, dude.
All right, I'm gonna put this phone away and start snapping some photos. Well, we didn't get a good sunset, so I'm gonna browse around the 8th floor gallery, which is dedicated to American modernism. And I'm gonna head back out on the observation deck in a few and hopefully get some good night shots. Guys, it is stunning out here. The views are spectacular, not to mention the full moon in the distance. Pretty decent sunset, no clouds in the sky, but hey, I'll take this view any day. Worth the price of admission alone, the observation deck. Oh, man. The 8th floor had some stunners, including this one and this next one here called Chakra Obata, I believe by a Japanese painting. So don't miss out on the 8th floor, and definitely don't miss out on the 7th floor. Hey guys, I'm on the 7th floor now where Whitney's collection is located. Paintings from 1900 to 1965. And I was here about a year ago. Remember to visit the 7th floor, guys, because the Whitney was known for its Edward Hopper paintings before their special exhibit on the 5th floor. So don't miss out on these Hopper paintings here on the 7th floor, including The Woman in the Sun, painted in 1961. That signature light on the floor, rectangular light, Another example of the outside world experienced through a private interior setting. And of course, another subject who appears to be daydreaming. We have Edward Hopper's 7 a.m. Edward Hopper took a lot of trips up north to New England and in Maine and stuff, and a lot of his settings, a lot of paintings are set in areas around New England and not just New York City. So I think this is one of them. Looks like an old general store, anonymous storefront cast in cool early light. And that's the thing about Hopper. It's as if you know his settings take place at a certain time. Like this is morning light, you know. Edward Hopper took a lot of trips to Paris. He loved the city of Paris, and a lot of his paintings are set there, including this one called Soirée Blue. Soirée Blue. Here we have one of my favorite sketches by Hopper called Night Shadows, 1921. I just love this drawing. It's just so emotive. They say that the shadows are the soul of an image, and it allows you to focus on the lit areas as well as the main subjects. This sketch here is one of the sketches I wish he would have painted. Next, we have a New York office. Again, two people not talking to each other. For more about this painting, you can pause it here and give it a read. Office at Night, it was the name of the painting. And look at the detail. Look at the typewriter. Here are some examples of some of the sketches Hopper sold to newspapers. Included at the exhibit are a whole bunch of handwritten letters that Edward Hopper wrote to his mother while vacationing in Paris, or should I say Paris. I was surprised to see these. Here we have New York interior, painted in 1921. We have Automat, considered one of his considered his magnum opus, along with Chop Suey and Nighthawks, which are not displayed here, unfortunately. I think those are in a museum in Chicago. Automat is one of my favorites. Again, a lonely subject lost in her thoughts, sipping coffee late. According to Hopper's wife, he used to spend long hours drinking coffee really late at night, and he couldn't sleep because of that. And the Automats, they were usually 24-hour joints. I love this painting. Office in a small city. Again, the world beyond experienced through a private setting. In this case, an office. Wow. I have New York restaurant from 1922. What I love about this bustling upscale dining room is how Hopper painted people on the borders, on the edges. And even though it's a small section of the restaurant, you get the feeling that it's really, really crowded inside, and I think that's pretty awesome. 6 o'clock, the museum is closing, folks. I spent about 2 hours here, and I've seen more than I've seen enough. I've seen it all. So, okay, guys, closing time. Just gonna give you guys a look at the gift shop. A lot of books. Well, that about does it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the tour. I had a blast. I had a great time. Love Ed Hopper, one of my favorites. The museum is beautiful. They also have a restaurant in there, by the way, called Eat. And while you're here, guys, if you're gonna visit the Whitney Museum, don't forget to walk the High Line. Old elevated train track. Industrial purposes. It's now a public park. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna go get a bite to eat. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.